This is the new Kuchingoro camp in Nigeria. The mood here, despite the New Year festivities elsewhere, speak of a people who have no need for fireworks and certainly no need for celebration. 29-year-old John and his family have been in this camp for 3 years. They came here after Boko Haram insurgents ran over their town, causing them to flee. Now all 6 members of John's family are packed in one iron-made house. His only wish, along with many in this camp, is to return home.
My desire is to go home, but if possible, if there's no way for me to go home, I will just depend on God to see whether I will try my best even to enter credit so that I will increase my shop.
According to the chairman of the camp, Emmanuel, most of the camp residents were farmers. Without land for farming, they are cut off income.
My prayer is we want to go back to our village by the grace of God next year, because 4 years now we are here. You know, we are not doing anything, jobless, and we are suffering.
With the numbers, humanitarian organizations are finding it hard to provide basic necessities. A crippling food shortage and a lack of health facilities are some of the most serious problems.
Needs assessment as conducted by us, and also following a displacement metrics tracker that is out there, is shown that 70% of their needs is food. So they need to eat. So every time we go out for our healthcare tour or delivering on any healthcare services, we also give them food.
Currently, there are about 18 camps across Nigeria like the new Kuchingoro camp, and in total they house more than 200,000 internally displaced persons. Leslie Murungu, CGTN.
Well, let's get you some insights and analysis now on matters security across the continent. Hassan Sheikh Ali Noor joins me from our Mogadishu studio. He is a security and strategic analyst. Hassan, indeed a new year, but in many parts of the continent we're looking at the same old security challenges. Do you think 2018 will be different?
Good afternoon to everybody, and then if I try to answer for your question, right now the Africa's insecurity coming from different directions, so we cannot say we cannot put into one place. So the Africa's insecurity, some are for economic reason, some are political reason, some are religious, some are social. So we need to use the multiple or different levels of analysis. And to me, the non-Muslim countries in Africa will be okay in 2018, but the Muslim countries in the continent, they will be in trouble because the problem, the conflict or the insecurities sources are religious, and then the way of the state should be set up. So and then these also again interconnected for the global. So the East and the North Africa's countries, the insecurity will be going on, but the non-Muslim countries in Africa will be okay, and then they just need to adjust it or to distribute their resources, and the people are seeking for just inequality and justice, while the non-Muslim countries in the continent, the insecurities are around the principles of the state itself. So I think the insecurity will be in place in the 2018 in North Africa and the East African countries in Africa.
And Hassan, when you say that, you know, the insecurity will continue, particularly in Muslim countries, when we look at the terror activities of groups like Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram, what do you think authorities need to do this year to stem these insurgencies?
Actually, we cannot also again put together, because we cannot also put together Somalia and Nigeria into one basket, because Nigeria is a state. They have the largest army in Africa. They have the wealth. They have the government, the institutions, everything. They are there. So they need to engage economically, and then, of course, to military also the instrument. But the most important is the social issue and the economic performance. Well, in Somalia, we need to establish the state or the state formation, because here, although we are having the president, the parliament, the ministers, and the key, and so on, and the basic institutions, but Somalia's state is broken down. So we need some form to the state itself, because in the general state is missing in Somalia, and then therefore we need Biden to use for two ways. One way is to use the peaceful means to have a reconciliation, to call the people come together, to agree any form of political form to reestablish the state, or to have a forces and then to use the forces against the whole, and then to implement the state institutions through the forces, which I think will be quite difficult. So in Somalia, then we need to use the peaceful means to call the people for reconciliation, and then the government must try to bring up the pieces of the state, develop the institution, develop the center and the bravery, bring it together, utilize or mobilize the intellectuals, and then to educate the people to be aware, because the way we are doing the business in these days or in the last for few years, we are not doing actually in proper job. So we need to have a new form and new dynamics and the new tools, new method to try to find ways to solve the insecurity in Somalia. Our problem not only from the Al-Shabaab or so on, because the whole nation, Somalia is a very big country, and then the whole nation is a breakdown, and then we need to bring back to the pieces into one form of the political institutions, and then in Somalia, we as Somalis, we cannot do alone to do this job. So we need the external or the international support in different ways, in terms of military, in terms for finance, in terms of the expertise, in terms of the how to to disarm the people, to how to bring the people for conferences, dialogue, and so on.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that analysis. Hassan Sheikh Ali Noor joining us there from Mogadishu, Somalia.